Hello and welcome to Intuitive Clarifications with Natasha. And when I say that, I like to bring insights into people's life as your truth is your truth, but that my intuition is here to guide you through your stories and give you some clarification on what life is about. In other words, I like to be the bridge to how to negotiate the story of this 3D world and then going forward into where we're at and what we're wanting to be and where we're walking into as we walk into this powerful year. Like last year, 2025. Hi, Veronica. Thank you for being here. That this story of 2025, the year of the snake. We're just finishing up with the year of the snake, coming into the year of the fire horse, right? It's like the Chinese New Year. And we just finished up with the 9 year, that nine story, that nine of endings, that endings of where we're at. Well, this 110 year is about, that beginning of who we are, what we want to do, what is that story that we want to create out of that new thing. Well, lately I have been very observant. And I know for me, oh my gosh, yesterday, Tuesday, I don't know if you had this kind of day, but oh my gosh, it was a humdinger of an emotional one. And that's why I thought about, well, I can talk about emotions. Emotions have been so high lately. The anger, the frustration, the story, the negotiation, the whatever we're going through right now has just been triggering our minds so much. And that's the thing, is that the minds trigger the emotions and the emotions trigger the mind. And so if you're feeling triggered in one or the other, that is part of the story of creating a new balance, right? It's that creating a new of us. And so if you've been triggered somewhere inside of you, that it is about how do we come in unison with everything. Okay. Like for me, I woke up yesterday morning triggered, like one upside down, one the other. And I'm not going to tell you about what because it's personal. And I just want people to know I get triggered too. And so what I ended up doing was is that I knew that I needed to get that emotion out of me, right? I knew that I needed to get that anger and that frustration out of me because I was feeling it inside my body. My body was feeling heavy. My body was feeling achy. My body was feeling very weighted down by my emotions and my mental state at that time. And some of this was getting rid of some of the old story that I've been working through. And so going through this, that I really had this moment. And I know with me, if I don't give my emotions a voice, you know, a voice. So, like, if I'm angry, what am I angry about? What are you angry about? Anger, what are you angry about? Right? What is this frustration in me? What is this moment of depressedness that I'm feeling inside me? Right? That I understand because I'm a double Cancerian. Most of my planets are in water. So it's like if I'm dancing in the emotions constantly. And being a water sign, water is about emotions. So if you've had some problems with water lately, that's about emotions. And so going into this, that my emotions were so high yesterday when I woke up because of my dreams and my, like that illusion that you have when you're first waking up. And, so I was like, okay, I just got to say it. And I didn't want to say it in my bed because I didn't want the energy in my bed, right? I didn't want all that anger and frustration in my bed because I know that my pillow, I know my bed holds the energy of what I sleep. And so, like, I need to pound it out. I need to shake out my pillow a lot of times just to get that energy out of my pillow. And, you know, then so what I ended up doing was I went into the bathroom and I just started, and I wish I would have taken a shower at the time, but it was not one of my mornings that I was going to do that. But I was like, "Arr, arr, arr," and I just was voicing what was in my dream, and I just was like, "Arr, arr, 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 arr," not to anybody necessarily, because that's the thing, is we don't necessarily have to be um, around anybody to have our emotions be witnessed, right? We don't have to be around anything to have our emotions witnessed. We can witness our emotions ourselves. And so going into this, that as I was emotionally based yesterday morning, that I was rah, 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 and then I got the image of my dog being downstairs, knowing that I was talking about somebody. And so it was like, oh, I can't be real yelly and screaming because my dog is very emotionally sensitive, and so I was like, okay, how can I do this? How can I do this? Well, I can choose my words, I can choose my interactions, I can choose that story, and I can choose what I'm doing. And so I did. I chose my tone. So instead of being loud with my anger, I was like, and that fucking asshole, right? So I was talking in a deeper level because you got to find the places to do this. And that's the thing is now that I did that because it was something dealing with outside my home, that when I went outside my home, I was actually able to have a better conversation with that person because of the fact that I got those emotions heard. And then I was able to be in my right term mind instead of passive aggressive about all these emotions that were cropping up and that kind of thing, that I was able to negotiate it. Now, if that interaction that I foresaw happening that triggered these emotions happens, now I have a better tool of knowing what to do about it, but I won't be so emotionally based. I might be able to have that conversation I saw myself having with that person, but at the same time, though, I may not have I would have it more in tuned with that person, right? I would be able to be more in control of my emotions instead of my emotions being in control of me. And that's the way we are because not everybody knows how to negotiate or talk with their emotions. Not everybody knows how to have a voice, right? Have that voice that is inside of them. They may not know how um, to be able to um, have that understanding that their voice has a purpose, right? And and so when we are in the midst of doing our interaction, that it is about finding where are we at and what are we doing and what can we be and where we I wrote some down and then I wanted to say it. Okay. Not everybody knows how to find their truth through their voice. Ain't that powerful? Not everybody knows how to find their truth through their voice. So, like for me, like me telling that story about, being angry in the morning about this thing that didn't happen because I was passive aggressive about it, because I haven't really had a good voice with this person, you know, all along. Well, now that I've had that voice, now all my conversations around that story are very more in truth for what I needed and less reactionary and very well knowledged, right? Because my emotions weren't in control anymore. I was in action with my emotions, not they were in control of me. And that's the thing is that when we have these emotions, and that's what today's going to be about is the emotions, right? That when we have those emotions that are so palatable, they need to find a way out, right? They need to find a way out. And what does a dog do but what does a horse do? But goes off and kicks and dances around and runs around and then they come back, right? You have to express these emotions somehow, some way. But again, not everybody knows how to do that. So then that's where those that us who know better to do better, can have some better boundaries around it. Can have those boundaries around, well, babe, or my coworker, or my kid, or my whoever it is, right? My friend or whoever, or even just somebody who's just walking down the street angry. Yeah, that was you. That's not me, right? And many of us are empaths. So many of us are empaths. So we pick up on other people's energies. We pick up on other people's emotions. So the first off is we've got to decide if it's ours or not, right? Is this anger mine or is this the universe's anger right now? Or is this, or is this depression? Oh my gosh, yesterday, did you feel depressed? Whew, it was thick as slime, right? It was thick as Play-Doh sometimes, or taffy, or one of those kinds of things. And so, it's like that depression. I was even feeling a little depressed yesterday. My husband asked me, how are you doing? And I was like, well, nobody's really talking to me. Thank you, Veronica, for us talking yesterday, because actually then I was telling my brain, because the brain wants to tell us that we didn't have anybody talking to us. But what actually I had was, well, Veronica and I talked, and it was a lovely conversation. So I was able to have a conversation around my emotions, right? And then there's that moment where I was like, oh, but I had that. And so, was it true that my mind was saying that nobody talks to me? No. But that was a depressed moment of emotions that my mind was piggybacking on to tell the story. So be careful of that if you can. Be careful of what the mind and the emotions, it's kind of like they come around and they're like, hey, dude, do you think that we can put this thought in our head? And then can we, well, maybe you can feel a little bit angry about it because, it is about 80% true. So we can ride on that 80%. The brain's like going, yeah. And then the emotions go, oh, yeah, I got some of this anger somewhere in me. Oh, I know where it is. It's because I didn't deal with such and such, such and such. So I can grab that. Yeah, let's combine this together. And then let's get this story going. Oh, I like that idea. And guess who we allow being in control, right? We allow this negotiation that I just did, you know, we allow that to happen. And it's so interesting how we allow those moments to happen. Now we have an outer world. Oh, yes, that outer world. That outer world can really affect us. And by rights, it probably should, right? There's sometimes where I stay quiet where I should have screamed and yelled. I get that. That's why I have some of that anger that's going, hey, I got anger somewhere in here. I can get it for you, right? Because I haven't dealt with it all, because I stuffed it down for so many years, because I thought that was me wanting to make things better. The thing is, though, we do pick up on other emotions and other stories. And so there's a lot of anger flowing around. I mean, you see that like in the elementary school that I work in. You can see that two or three kids get angry, and then that classroom is turning into half, and then the teacher's getting more and more angry. And then, it's like it's a domino effect. And it's like, and sometimes it's just an innocence. And then there's some kids that are just sitting there going, what in the hell is happening here? Right? So, going into this, it's not necessarily good or bad. Emotions are actually a blessing. The mind is an amazing thing that's working. But what it has learned, both of them have learned, is if they don't get heard, if they don't get seen, if they don't get felt, if they don't have a voice, then that voice gets tainted. And for myself lately, I've noticed that when I am working through something, my voice almost gets gravelly. And I don't know if you've noticed this on a couple of my videos that I have yeah, I can tell that my voice is a little gravelly, and I'm like going, what am I working through here that my voice is not being able to be expressed, right? Because that's what's important, is our voice being expressed. And, it's true that, when we don't witness it by others, it would be nice to have a friend to talk to. I'm a verbal processor. And so for me, when I don't get people to talk with, I don't verbally process I don't process very well, because of me needing that interaction. And so many of us who don't have that safe place to negotiate with, it is about finding that place to feel safe and vulnerable about something. And so make sure that when you are trying to find that safe place, that they are worthy of your emotions, that they are worthy of who you are. I've just had a conversation with somebody, and they are and he's going through something major right now. And you know, it and I was just talking about that you can't change the mindset or the emotions in a heartbeat because they're a collective, right? But you can do things like I can, right? I can work through my fear. I can work through my anger. I can work through my negotiations. I can be happy, or I can negotiate what is happening in front of me. I can process these emotions that I'm feeling. We give the emotions a bad name. We give anger a bad name. Well, anger, that just shows you who you are. I can't be angry. Why should I be angry? That adds on shame. That adds on guilt. That adds on this and that. But I can tell you, if you don't talk to your anger and let your anger out, like I said like yesterday morning when I was having this dream and insight, and then I was, saying something, I actually let that anger out because I didn't want it to be passive aggressive. And so it needed to be heard, it needed to be witnessed. And as you go into your life and go into your story, it's not bad or good. You can be angry and okay at the same time. You can be angry and happy at the same time. You can be around somebody who's angry and honor and love them through what's going on and be okay at the same time. We don't have to be in the 2 feet in every emotion, right? We don't need to have both feet in every emotion, even though sometimes it does feel really good to be there. When you really scream into the pillow that you don't sleep in, because remember, things have energy. Beds have energy, pillows have energies. So if you have, let's say, call it a screaming pillow or a screaming stuffed animal, right? And you have that ability to have that screaming thing, you scream into it all the time. Oh my gosh, what a release. What a release. But a lot of us don't give ourselves that ability. And I can tell you, a lot of people have problems with their liver and gallbladder, right? Well, what is the liver and the gallbladder? That's about emotions. Like for me, I had a trick finger, a finger that would totally get clinked up here. Well, I also have a nail that's kind of bent a little bit. Well, my liver was having problems. And so what did I do as I wrapped it? So because holding that finger is about anger and grief, right? This is the ring finger is about grief. Imagine that the wedding finger is about grief. This finger is about anger and frustration and pretense and a lot of that control thing, right? And so I knew that was my liver and my gallbladder. I also knew that it was about my anger and frustration that was not being heard and felt. And as I worked with it, loved it, negotiated it, held it, talked with my liver and my gallbladder, did some liver and gallbladder cleansing, watched my food that I was eating, I negotiated a lot of that. Guess what? My finger is really good already. It's better than it's ever, well, not better than it's ever been. Sometimes I have a little glitch in it, but I can tell you my liver is still negotiating things, right? So it's not a done story, but it's a story that's better than it was, right? It's a story that was better there for a while because I couldn't open up jars. I couldn't do anything because it was so glitchy. And, some people would go to the doctor and say, I need to have surgery on it. Well, I know I look at, well, it's about anger. It's attached to my liver and my gallbladder. So I fix my liver and my gallbladder, and then I fix my emotion of anger. And guess what? Because sometimes things are a teller, right? Like my right knee, all of a sudden I was standing somewhere and my knee started hurting. Well, what it was I was having some scarcity around a masculine conversation that I was dealing about with walking forward. So once I dealt with that, I loved my knee. I moved and I did things, and then I did castor oil at night. But I loved my knee, and I talked about things, and and I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry. Oh, do I? So going into this, that my knee, and then I had an itchy shoulder. So the right side of the body is about masculine, and the left side is about the feminine. The right side is about receiving, and the right side's the left side's about receiving, the right side's about releasing. So there's a spot on the knee, and it's right in the those on the on video. I'm holding up my knee. Those that aren't, and they're on the side of your kneecap. There's a soft spot, and you can't do it when your knee is totally bent, but you can feel it when you're doing, and it's kind of tender. Where is it at? Where is it at? It's kinda like if your kneecap is here and your joint is here, and it sits right down in that area. So it sits down in the joint area, and you hold that. You can almost feel like your body is flushing, right? So that's another thing that I did was I helped flush the energies on my leg, right? And then going back to my shoulder, I had an itchy left shoulder. Well, that's feminine, but it's actually being about the same thing that the knee was talking about. So what did I do is Googled what that was about, read the questions, got the insight, because a lot of times our body holds on to the emotional base of what our emotions are. And a lot of us have these things that feel stuck. And I don't know if you're negotiating some of this, but I'm like cleaning out my gutters in my shed and my house all at the same time with these emotions that I'm feeling, because these planets right now and these actions and these solar flares that the sun is doing, and then we're going into the out of the 9 year and into the 10 year. The 10 is about new beginnings because 10 comes down to 1, but 10 is actually a pretty magical number. So 2027 is going to be an 11 year or a 2 year. Whoo, we have had those before. I think the last time it was 11 2 year. And so going into this, that's even more of a magical time, but we have to do the work now. We need to, and I'm not saying we have to, like it's pertinent, but yeah, that if we can negotiate some of this emotional based mental control that our bodies have, because many of us don't get taught how to deal with our emotions. Many of us don't deal with who we are. We let our mind control us. We let our stories control us. It's like, I really need a candy bar right now. I really do. Mind, you really want me to have a candy bar? Taste buds, you want to have emotions? You really need a candy. You need, yeah, no, my adrenals actually don't want sugar. My adrenals really don't want sugar right now. So really figure out why you need these things outside of you, right? Why do you need these interactions around you? That's the frequency we are on right now, is that I know for me that I believe that I'm in the frequency of love and light. Oh, but oh my gosh, the mud that it's dragging me through. The mud that it's dragging me through is amazing. And yes, today is a lot better than yesterday was. I don't know if the last part of this day is going to be any better, but I can tell you that, every moment is an opportunity to shift something. Every moment is an understanding that you can be better than you were. Every moment is about what we are doing. And, there is that moment of blessings if we can believe in it. But it's been pretty thick and solid. It's been really thick and solid. And so going into this, that, you know, we have we have the ability, if we really become friends with our mind, and if we become friends with our soul, we become friends with our emotions, and we become friends with our body, and we become we become more in friendliness with our being. It's amazing because sometimes when we feel like nobody wants to talk with me, well, who, ask the question. Well, who doesn't, why do you feel that way? Well, I feel that way because nobody's really texting me back. Well, that's valid, but do you think maybe that they have a life or they're doing something that they should? Well, yeah, that's kind of truthful. Yeah, and I can really see that You're doing a good job doing what you were thinking you're going to do because, like I said in a previous show, that I'm doing those things that I would regret. If in 3 months I would look back and say, oh, I wish I would have. I wish I would have. I'm doing them. Texting, making a phone call. And I know for me that if I'm doing those things, those interactions, that the tide is going to be a little bit on my side. I'm the one reaching out. I'm the one who's doing this interaction because they're my regrets. Right? They're my regrets. And so I'm responsible for the emotion base that brings them up. Now I know for me, I've been one that I've been there more for people than people have been there for me. That's just a given, right? I'm a spiritual worker. I'm a bridge between the realities. I get the bigger story of where we're at. I do, and I love it. It feeds my soul. The thing is though, how do we find that balance? And this balance is coming back to, what is our emotions and our mind telling us? What is it that's happening around this story? Because it's not necessarily that we should feel shame and guilt around being angry or sad about something, right? It's a moment. We're all in the moment of greater good right now and cleaning out the gutters. So what gutters want to be cleaned out? And how do we do that? Right? And it's not about, and many times we choose to drink alcohol, or we choose to do extracurricular. I choose to do sometimes, chocolate chips. That's been my candy lately, is chocolate chips. And so sometimes I'll choose chocolate chips, because that's what I need right then at that. But then I ask the question, well, why do I need you? You know, and so we are in an amazing time to really find out who we truly are, which means not being afraid to talk with our emotions. We cannot be afraid of being able to tell our mind, would you just shut up? You've been talking a lot lately, and it's not in any of my greater good. My body is not where I want it. Thing is, though, I'm loving it through it. I love you. Thank you. I love you. It is an amazing time. And this 2025, 2026, 2027 year, it's going to be, we're going to look back and go, wow, I didn't expect that to happen. We're, if we don't have our emotions, then what are we going to do when we see the star being land on our planet? They already are. They're just cloaked. What are we going to do what are the emotions are going to be when we see things for what they truly are and we've believed in the other? We have to have this understanding about ourselves. Well, and I've been using the words, well, that was interesting. That was a moment. Whoo, boy, I really walked through that one, didn't I? Because it's an opportunity for us to really hone into this magic that's out there. But we gotta be willing to go through the bushes to get there. We have to go through the mud. We have to go through that story. That ickiness after a snow? The snow comes down and it's all so pretty. Things are happening. The new year's here. It's so pretty, the snow. And then people drive on it. People bring in their stories. People bring in their opportunities. People do these things that don't necessarily align with us. We have to deal with the slush and the ice and the ickiness and all that other stuff. So be the one that starts changing the world by interacting with your emotions. If you're happy, be happy. If you're sad, it's okay to be sad for a limited time. If you're depressed, don't let it control you and say, I'm done with this life. There's purpose everywhere for everybody. We just have to keep looking for it. We don't know what we're truly here for until we're actually done with being here. We don't know the seeds that we planted along the way, right? We don't know what seeds we're planting for somebody else's joyfulness of their life. Sometimes I've had these one or two sentences, and somebody will come back to me years later and say, Natasha, remember when you said to me this, this, and this? Not really. But yeah, I think I do. Well, that changed my world. That changed my world. So be your own changer of your world. Be your own understanding of your world. Because your mind is yours. Your emotions are yours. Nobody else can tell you that. What to do with them or what to interact. Me, I'm giving you perspectives and I'm giving you understandings. And if you glean something off of it, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so grateful because your truth is your truth. But I have an understanding that if we don't start really getting a handle on our emotions in this world of ours, it's going to take a little bit longer to awaken. And it's not that they need to be in control. They just need to be played with and talked with, and just kind of like a friend that you need to call up once in a while to say, hi, we're still friends, right? And what happens with that friend when you go out to lunch with them or dinner with them? They're going, hey, this is so great to see you. This makes me feel so much better. Your emotions are like that. They want to be heard. They want to be seen. They want to be your friend. And it's okay. Other people don't need to know what's going off in your head. They might think that you're crazy. Might think I'm crazy if I talk in my anger saying, "What are you here for? Why are you so angry?" I'm angry because I just haven't been able to be told about them and I just want to be accept. I want to be included. Okay. I understand that. I like to be included. Yes, we like to be included. But right now, it's not in our control. I know. Okay. 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 Right? Talk to them like your friend, like your amazingness of your gifted friend. Because a lot of us need friends, right? That friend that we can really trust. So I hope this is helpful. Give me some feedback. What are you thinking about this show so far? If I've made sense, if I've rambled, if I've done, what have I done here? So the blessings that you are on this in this physical body is that we have a mind that we work with and the emotions that we interact with, that the soul likes to be with the body. So we have the emotions, the soul, the body, and the mind. So what is it that is really who's in truly control? The nervous system, actually. That nervous system, the one that reads the room before your brain can read the room. The one that knows that something is on or off. The one that really sets you up for success or failure because you read the energy of your nervous system not so well. In other words, being scared. Being scared is an amazing thing because it tells you to stop and think. It tells you to stop and think. And then says, oh, I think I can do that. And you trudge right along. So if you can, and if you are, remember to believe in who you are and what you're doing because your emotions are going to be part of this 3D walk that we're doing. And if we can believe in that, it's time to believe in you, right? I love your description of our emotions. You're doing a fantastic job of explaining. Thank you, Veronica. I appreciate you. Yes. Now, it's so if you're feeling heavy and depressed, I'm going to tell you that that's going to be the theme of this year is heaviness and depression feeling. Okay, because we're going through some major shifts and changes. Now, being in the energy almanac that I am, I need to get it out to you, Veronica and Paula. But it is, and so when we're talking about March, the beginning of March. So the beginning of March here, I know we're in February, but March is the next one. So February, March. So March 2nd to the 8th, do seek truth and clarity. Do not let doubt cloud your confidence. March 9th to 15th, do shift your perspective as needed. Do not be reactive this week. March 16th to the 22nd, do face challenges with compassion. Do not neglect personal growth opportunities. March 23rd through the 29th, do delight in life's physical experiences. Do not share opinions unless asked. So that is kind of the beginning of it. And then we have the different stories, and then we'll have where you can write different things in it. And then we have more description in the lunar cycles and that kind of thing. So I think those were great, even today. Do seek truth and clarity. Do not doubt or cloud your confidence. I think that's a great thing to walk with, right? Do not cloud your confidence right now. It is really time to believe in what you're doing. It's really time for you to believe in what we are. It's really been time to negotiate what's happening. I'm going to buy one. Are they still available to purchase? Yes, I have one that I can ship to you, Veronica. And they are 65, I think, $65. I do have the spiral bound. So they're and they start March because Aries is the beginning of the astrology first of the year. And isn't it true how like in January 1 it's like a new year, but it's really hard to get your resolutions going? Well, Aries is the time, it's our spring. It's time to really, that's the time to get motivated. Now between the January 1st and March 1st, the Aries time, that this is actually a time to get our feet underneath us. What are the things we would regret? Because March is the third month. So what am I going to take in value of that I might have regret doing? And I still have to make a phone call to somebody. I haven't yet done that. And so, we're in the middle of a lot of different things that are happening. And so what we can be and what we can do is really hone into our belief system. And we're in an amazing time. And the more we know ourselves, like I had a teacher who or a mentor that told me these words. It says, the more grounded you are and in your body, the more you can channel. Ain't that the fact that the more you know your emotions and your story, the more that when we get into this reality of somebody in the grocery store and or you're like I was calling up my cable company and I was like, well, this was like a car lot. Let me go back to my computer system. Let me go back to my computer system. Let me go back to my computer system. I was like, gosh, how many times do I have to buy this car, right? But I chose not to get triggered by that experience because my emotions want to say, well, frick this. We'll just pay the bill. No, I got what, $30 off on my bill. If I went back for a couple more times, I probably could have gotten a little bit more off or, paid my cell phones through them, and I would probably lessen my other bill that I have, right? But that doesn't feel right to me right now, and so I didn't do that, but I being proactive in my understanding and having the knowing of my emotions and my mind what was playing games, that I was actually able to negotiate being on the phone with that person. And I just was like, this doesn't feel right. Yeah, that feels right. I wasn't reactive. So if you can, remembering that if you are in reaction, your mind and your emotions are in control. If you are in interactions, your whole being is in interactions. Your mind, your body, your spirit, and um, your emotion, your mind. Your mind, emotions, spirit, and body are all in the ability to being together when you are in interaction. Because it's not wrong that your mind is going to think of something. It's not wrong that your emotions react to it. It's not wrong that your body goes, well, that's uncomfortable. And it doesn't, and your soul goes, well, we can get through this. I know the way through that. I know how to do this. Yes, I do. I do. I do. Right? Because when your soul says, let's go for it. And we're all in the mix of this crossroads of doing something for ourselves to do better in our life. And we got to believe it. But it's being all together on the same team. And when we are in our emotional base and our mental base and our body base and our spirit base all at the same time, the flow is there. People always say, Natasha, why didn't you react to that? Because I don't have one or the other in control. Sometimes my emotions want to be sometimes my mind, like yesterday, my mind wanted to be a little bit in control, but they didn't stay there very long. They didn't stay there very long. Somebody has to be the lead once in a while, but that's different being the lead. Sometimes the emotions need to be in lead in order for that bigger story to come out. Doesn't mean they have to be in control, but they can be in lead. Or the mind, doing math problems needs to be in the lead, but then the emotions, oh, can we do this? Yes, we can do this. The spirit saying, oh yeah, I know how to do this. And the body going, yeah, this is a little scary because I haven't been able to do it before. Right? So it's about that moving forward and what we're doing here. So believing in what you're doing. Oh, and it crossed my mind. The energy almanac will go from March to March. So you'll have a full year. So it's a full year of being able to journal in it, being able to negotiate it, being able to be where we're at with it. And I'm just so excited to be a part of it. So with that, okay, so it's time to channel. Now, remember when I channel it, that it's not necessarily, I don't leave all the way. And if you don't believe in channeling, that's okay. I want to honor you. The thing is, though, sometimes those words, because like right now, I'm channeling a message. I channel a lot in my day-to-day walk. I let my spirit come through. I let my brain and I just channel a lot of my day. But the thing is, though, when I channel like a deity, like today, Mother Mary wants to come in. She's been helping me. God, she's been helping me. Ooh, she's been helping me. I don't know if you have been having problems going to sleep, but I've been like last night. I was so I was wound up. I was very wound up. And the night before, I was just pretty heavy. I was pretty thick. It was pretty solid with the solar flares and the planetary changes and this full moon. Oh my gosh, the full moon. Whew, it was amazing. Now we're walking into a new moon. So what are we going to get rid of to get into this new ideas and what we're going to do into our new story? So this one was, so I was feeling pretty thick, and I said, mother, please, you before she's put me to sleep. I said, mother, please, you need to help me. My mind, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it today. I'm very human right now, and I'm feeling it. Can you help me go to sleep, please, so I can process what I'm processing? And pretty soon I feel this relaxation come over me, this love come over me. And guess what? within probably 5 minutes of saying that story. I was asleep. I was asleep because I allowed. I allowed. I allow love to come to me. I love insight to come to me. I allow the knowings to come through me and with me. And I trust that process. So Mother Mary's going to come through and she's going to talk a little bit about something. Now, Mother Mary, she doesn't care what religion you're attached to. She doesn't care what you believe in. She cares that she loves you. She cares that she's with you. She cares that you're a part of her team. She cares that you are part of this loving being. Her and Yahshua is very much part of this story. So I'm going to channel, and when I channel, I close my eyes and my voice might change. I'm still here. I may not remember all that I channel, but I'm here. So if you can, just honor the words. Now, I will be pulling oracle cards. I hope I have enough time to pull oracle cards for everybody after. I might just pull one or two, but when I am channeling, I will not read the comments. So thank you very much. Thank you, Veronica. I do too. Okay. Okay, here we go. Hello, lovelies. You've been going through a lot on this planet, haven't you? You've really come into some clarity about so much. And I'm so proud of you for those insights. Like, even if you just tell yourself, boy, I noticed there's a theme here. Yes, there's a theme. There's always a theme here. There is always a story about life and knowings and doings. And so, if you are feeling a lot of the energy around you, remember your body is part of the conduit of the energies of the being, kind of like a antenna. That's the word I wanted to use. An antenna for little moments on this planet. So if you think of every human being a antenna for the frequency of the energies, and some have a little bit more knowings than others. So some are open, right? And some are more, and some are just like the monks that are doing the walk in this US towns of yours, that they are walking through snow, rain, sun, heat, right? But what do they say? What do they do? They stay consistent. They stay in who they are. Their feet may be hurting. Their stories may be hurting. But what do? They tend to the loving dog of theirs. There's one monk that will take the lead, and then another will take the lead. But one will always be in the back for those that are a little slower. It's not that always the quickest will lead. Many times the quickest will be in the back. So it could pace with the ones that need to be paced with. Did you understand that? So we are all on different frequencies right now because that is called personal choice. We all have these personal choices that we go through. And then in going into what we are and what we're doing, it's about awakening that you were meant to be in this physical body with these emotions and mental states to clean out your experiences. This lifetime, my friend, you chose to be on this planet at this time to awaken your soul's awakenings into a greater understanding of believing in you. Believing in what you are, believing in what is happening. And if you are feeling the push, that push, my friends, to be a greater sense of you, That is what is meant to be. So when you are in doubt, doubt is just a pause. It's a breath. It's a moment to stop and think. It's nothing more or nothing less. I have seen this wonderful commercial about the Olympics. And this little being is down there going, "You shouldn't. No, you shouldn't. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't ski down." And then she's watching this video of somebody who went just down, and the person is saying, "You can do it." Did she listen to doubt? No. But she processed what doubt was, which is, can I do this? Yes, I can do this. This is the action I'm going to take. So doubt is just a player in the game of the realities of this world. Depression is about slowing down and taking care of your body. This dear one yesterday took a quick nap. It was only about 10, 15 minutes, but it was enough for her to recharge and to clean out some of her processing. Do what you need to do for you right now. Mine is doing the extracurricular activities. It is really time for you to clean up your interactions and clean up who you are. There is going to be some big shifts and changes coming up in the next couple weeks with your planet. It is the upgrade that your Mother Earth is coming through too. And so, if you can remember, you are not the realities around you, you are your own reality. So, if you can hold on to that understanding that you are your own reality, even though you have the realities around you. And yes, there are many around you that have many beings around you, and it can get pretty palatable. Like this dear one has done many a times when she has been around a lot of beings that are doing certain things, she has said the words, I am my own reality. I'm in my own reality. That reality is something I will honor, but I am in my own reality. It is time for you, my dear friends and loved ones and family, to be at home with who you are and be okay with where you're at. Even if you're in a big moment of big shift, it's okay to be there. It is called learning who you are. And you are the miracle that is coming forward into being you. You were born to be the miracle in this timeline because this is the thickest timeline this planet has been on in many million of centuries. Believe in what you're doing. The awakening is coming forward. The Christ consciousness of love is what is needed on this planet right now. My son wishes to be part of this journey, not in religion form, but in love, in consciousness form. Remember, consciousness is the mindset. Be love and kindness, even if it's with tough love. Tough love can be for yourself and others. The illusions, as this dear one told a friend today, pop the bubble of illusion. What somebody is telling you, what somebody is actually doing for you and with you. Pop that a bubble of illusion if it doesn't fit your truth. Your souls are waking up, and not everyone's in alignment with that awakening with you. So you might find relationships are separating. You might find that friendships are a little bit rocky. You might find that things are just happening that are a little bit askewed. But that's okay because it will make sense here in a little bit. Walk your walk and walk your truth and know that you are finding your balance. Sometimes it's just like this dear one said, be friends with your emotions and your mindset. Be friends with who you are. Be friendly with your personality. It's amazing, your personality. And remember, if somebody tells you that you are not good enough, pop that illusion bubble. This is not yours. My love is with you, my friends and family. Remember, I am here with you, as this dear one talked about. I loved helping her go to sleep. I haven't had to put one of my children to sleep in a long time, and it was so much fun. I just love it. It fills up my momminess in me. So remember, I am here with you, loving you. And if you need to go shopping, I love to shop too. Remember, this is a time to take care of you. Put yourself on the list. Put your understandings on the list. If that means financially, if that means with your body shape, and if that means that you just even walk up and down the stairs one more time than you thought you would, it is time for you to love yourself. Blessed be. Whew. I just love her. I love Mother. I so love Mother. She's been mom. My mom's been gone for over 30 years, and I just love my mom. I love my mother, and my mother too. Mother Mary, she just kind of stepped in when my mom passed away. So, okay, let's see. It is 57. So I will pull oracle cards. So I'm going to do the Wisdom of Oracle, or the Wisdom of Avalon, I should say, oracle cards. So, and Veronica, I knew you would want a card. And if there's anybody else, and remember, if this cards align with what you're thinking, that's okay too, because that is part of the energies. So if later, if there's something I'm reading about a card and it aligns with you, the card is meant for you. Joy. So joy is upside down right now, Veronica, because of the fact that you may be going through some big decision makings. And I know we've had some of these conversations. So if you're going into some big understandings of yourself and big understandings of who you are, that joy can be a part of this. It's about the understanding, and it is it's a 37, which is a 10. So it's aligning with yourself. So if you can, even though things are happening, your daughter, we talked, your daughter, your friend, sending prayers and love towards both of them so that they can be more in alignment for their truth. And remembering that, we can't always be a mother to everyone because they have their own story, but you got to have joy. Remember, that's the base of a lot of your decisions, is to find that joy. And joy is not necessarily happy and gleeful. It's that I'm saying I'm okay. I'm at peace. I'm in compassion for myself. I'm in understanding, because it's time to weave your new web of realities, as Spider was part of that story too. So what are you wanting to catch in your web? So remember, you can let the ickiness slide through and be, because remember, webs don't have to catch everything, right? So be the spider web and catch what you want, and let everything else slide through that you can, even though we're human. Okay. Because it's time to get the nectar out of life. That came on too, Veronica, for you. So the bee. Get the nectar out of life. Get the joy out of life. Get what you can. Okay, I'm going to pull a card just for in general, because I thought that it's calling to me. In general. You're more than welcome, Veronica. Thank you. Communication. Oh my gosh, communication. Communication is and it's a 41, so it's a 5 card. So if anybody's aligning with numbers, that it's a 5 card. So communication. Remembering that in this deck, that The mile markers all look the same. It's just the different words on top. So communication is really important right now. Communication with self, communication with others. Like today, I had somebody, the walkie-talkies, and they would say half the sentence. Communication, right? Communicate. Um, it will add more. And then the other person who heard the radio contact came out and said, this is what they were trying to tell you. Communication is huge. So understand that don't be afraid to talk with yourself. Talking with yourself is talking with your higher self, right? Talking with yourself is your higher self. So you may get good answers talking to your higher self, because there's one more card that wants to pop out. No, there's two more. Because what we digest in our world, the cow card, what we digest in ourselves, what we nourish in ourselves is what we're going to have. So communication, good communication with ourselves, good communication with others. And this is a 2 card, right? Is time, because it's time to really let go. And like I was talking to somebody today about, how do you let go? Sometimes you don't let go of everything. Sometimes you have to transform things. So letting go and transforming. I let go of anything and everything that can be let go of, as I transform what needs to be transformed in my greater good, so I can have the loving life that I'm meant to have. So mantras like that are a good one to have. I'm letting go of everything and anything in my body that is holding on to my negativity, as I align with the greater good of transformation of what needs to be transformed into the greaterness of me, right? So it's about that movement of going forward. And because the path is always the same, it's our perception that we go through it with. Okay. Thank you for watching. Remember, you can catch me on all social medias, including this one. Every Wednesday at 4 o'clock is my show here on YouTube. I'm thinking about trying to get on to other platforms, but haven't been able to do that yet. And so here, 4 o'clock on Pacific time live, you can watch it later. I also have many videos that you can watch, the 2-minute videos, and I'm praying that you find happiness and joyfulness in your life, because right now we got to grab it when we can, because it's thick. So I hope today's show was good. Your truth is your truth. Remembering that, honor yourself and your emotions and your mind for what it's going through. It's going through a lot. So believe in it and tell it, you know what? You can be angry for 5 minutes and then you're done. Mind, you can run amok for a little bit during my meditation or whatever. You can run amok for a few minutes, and then I got to get going again. Physical boundaries can help. I'm Natasha Venture, Intuitive Clarifications, and I have 10% until the end of this month off on all my sessions. That is at the beginning, or is on the front page of my website. Or you can email me at natasha@intuitiveclarifications.com. Blessed be to you, and may you know that you are so loved. Oh my gosh, there's miracles happening if you believe. Bye now.